Hello everyone, Gerard Scarpese here, co-founder of the Hairbrain community, bringing you another exciting episode of Hairbrain Live. About a month or two ago, we had Brian Andrew featured, and there was so much interest and questions on all of his techniques and all of the work that he's doing on textured hair. We wanted to bring him back again. He got tons of personal messages, and that's what this is all about, learning from great mentors. Brian's got a lot of stuff that's going to happen here today. His first model here, Ashley, he has put in some extensions already, and he's going to talk about putting in extensions and then actually cutting them. So Brian, why don't you show us what you have planned for Ashley here?
Previously when Ashley came to see me this morning, she had short hair. But what we did, we have a method we call a quick weave.
A quick weave?
Yes.
So she started with short hair this morning. Is that true?
Yes.
How short?
Very short, a pixie cut.
Wow. So you went from a pixie to this.
Yeah, and a few hours, Ashley had long hair. And what I did is I'm going to cut her hair today in a vertical bob. And what I did with the quick weave, instead of me sewing in the extension, I actually glue it in, but it's glued so closely to her scalp that you can't even see it. So what I'm going to do today after...
I don't even see the root. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can see it. I was going to say, I think he's lying. That's her hair. No, that's a weave. I can see it.
Yes,
so what kind of glue do you use? Like, what is there a certain type?
The certain glue which I like to use is called 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah. It's dry fast, it doesn't irritate the scalp, and it's a good glue.
Do you need heat or anything?
No heat.
So you just put it right on?
No heat, just put it right on. And what I did, if you see the back heavy Ashley's here, it was left out of the weave, because what I'm going to do when I cut the vertical bob, I'm going to blend it in with her natural hairline back here.
So they just put it horizontally?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just across, and what, every inch, every half inch?
I'm going to start my cutting now. I'm going to pick up a guide and I'm going to start.
So if you're just joining us, I'm Gerard Scarpese. I'm here with Brian Andrew. We're at the Crooked Fringe Studio in New York City. We bring you a special edition tonight where Brian and his team are going to be doing a whole bunch of things. Yeah, not just one look. They've got some cutting, some styling. So super excited. We'd love to hear your questions, comments. Let's get into it. All right, so it looks like you're going right to work there. Now, why do you choose the razor?
Because of our natural hair, I don't want the scissors to put too much of a hard line. The razor will at the end of your hair look like it's all blended right.
So is her natural hair relaxed?
Yes, her natural hair relaxed.
So if you feel if you go in with the scissor, it gets too like cut looking?
Cut looking, yes.
So the razor is softer on the left side. And I noticed that you're also working dry. So do you typically cut your clients dry?
Well, this is the extensions, simply because I can cut the extension dry.
So you cut the extensions dry?
Yes.
But if it wasn't extensions and you were just cutting her relaxed hair, would you
cut it both wet or dry?
How do you choose?
Most of the time when I cut dry, I'll cut straight hair dry. The person has curly hair, curly has no shape, so I'll cut curly hair wet. Okay. Because after it's got the fingers and go back into shape. Yeah.
So everybody's got their thing. So Brian, if it's straight, relaxed, you go through and you kind of like press it out and then cut it that way. Yeah. And if it's curly, natural curly, no relaxer, you cut it wet. Yeah. Awesome. It's great to hear there's so many different, I'm sure you know, everybody's got a different approach, so we always love to hear everyone's approach. So I feel like, are you working towards like a longer front?
Longer front.
Let's turn around a little bit this way as you're working so that Kelly can see what you got. You got it there, Cal? Awesome. Now, with the razor, do you feel like you have to use pressure, or is it very light?
So it's very light, easy. And it makes my work easier and move much faster.
Okay, so we've got some questions coming in, some shout outs. Hi from Cara Stock from Essex, England. Hi, Cara. We've got Antonio. Ciao. He must be watching from Italy. Our good buddy Jeremy Hickson is watching. Andrew Lopez says hello from Jamaica. We've got more people from England. Guys, let us know where you're watching from around the world. People out there watching from everywhere. And then, of course, if you have any questions for Brian as he works, we'd love to hear it. Hey, Tristan, great to have you here. So, again, with this cut, you're just kind of going right on the surface of the hair. So you're letting it fall over and literally just kind of sculpting it in on the surface. And now, do you kind of keep, it feels like it's going longer, so do you start razoring lower and lower each time?
I don't want to lower each time.
It's more visual than anything though, right? So it's not as much of a kind of technical guide. So you started higher and then you came lower and lower, very visually.
Simply because I did not use a technical guide, simply because it's extensions. And because extensions one in force if I pull up and try to pick up.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, you know, if because I've had some challenges in my time trying to cut extensions, something I'm in no way an expert. And then, you know, if you go in, like you said, traditionally, and you just try to section it,
you're going to be problems.
So you kind of have to cut it more where it falls, more visual, dry. So that's your recommendation, because you can't comb through the root and pull it out.
You got to stay away from the roots as you cut.
So Brian, you've been a salon owner. Brian owns a salon here in New York in the Bronx called Hair by Brian. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and he was telling me earlier he's been in business for well over 20 years, which, you know, if you guys can all give him a round of applause out there, because we all know being a salon owner is the toughest gig in this industry. So how's this year been for you?
This has been very good for me, because I've grown so much now. I outgrow the space that I got. So I have a new space coming in for 2019.
So you're expanding to a new location?
Yes.
Wow. Does that mean you're bringing on more hairdressers or?
Yeah, more hairdressers. That's always a plan. Make your life easier.
Yeah. So working with a nice team. Awesome. All right, lots of love coming in. Savannah Lee says hi from Rhode Island. Carla Lopez is watching from Texas. We've got people watching from Australia. Who's that? Phi Lancaster in Australia. Lots of love coming in from everywhere. So guys, if you have any questions for Brian, this would be a great time. You can go ahead and ask. I know many of us maybe aren't that experienced with cutting extensions, cutting textured hair. If you are, let us know that that's something you love to do, or if it's something you're challenged with. Honestly, for me, cutting extensions is something I never had a lot of training with. So that's why I'm super interested. And it makes a lot of sense. Every time I try to just kind of section through and pick it up, whether it's woven or glued in, you have to deal with everything at the roots. Where here, it makes sense how Brian's just going in and kind of sculpting with the razor.
As you can see right now, I already picked up a shape.
Yeah, it's beautiful where that's sitting. Let's get a good shot for Cal. Beautiful steep angle. I like the way that it kind of is promoting this wave into the hair as well, into the extension. It's just getting it to move. Here's a question from Dominique Love. She's wondering what inspired you to become a hairdresser.
What actually inspired me, I think, was my calling.
Your calling?
Yes, because at first, when I first started off, I used to cut hair on my porch with my dad. And then after one time, I decided to go into the salon. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where'd you grow up? I can detect
Antigua.
Antigua. What's a beautiful island, yeah?
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start putting some layers on the top. So this time I'm going to go in with my shade.
So now up there, so when you comb, you're combing like from the middle, right? Yeah, I can see that. So you don't go too close to the root. And now point cutting some layers across the top.
It's going to become my guide as I go forward backwards.
And these extensions, are they human hair, 100% hair?
100% human hair.
Is that?
Because the reason why there has to be human hair, because when time comes to curl it with the morsel irons or the flat irons,
It'll melt, right? Yeah, synthetic hair melts.
Hair
that I know. You can only do synthetic hair with like steam, right?
Yeah.
You use some kind of a steam to curl.
Yeah, at a low temperature.
Question coming in from Liz Olson. Did you leave some of her natural hair out of the part line?
Yes.
Maybe Kelly can
As I
see.
do my finish, I'm going to show her where I leave her natural hair out, and also some is at the back.
That just makes it kind of fall more naturally, right? Because then you can see the scalp a bit.
Because we want to see her natural part, like it look like it's all her hair.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. Our good buddy Jeremy McDougall is tuning in. Aaron Johnson. Again, if you guys have any questions here about working with extensions or cutting extensions or placing them in, that shape is coming out beautiful. I love the way you just kind of carved it in and now pointing through. So now it's a little more technical. You are following a guideline.
Following a guide. And as I cut, I notch it out, take off the weight out of there because it's extension. If there's too much weight, you have no movement.
So Dominique Love is asking about the extensions. She might have just joined in. If you can recap your quick extension technique here, explain how you put these extensions in for Dominique, that would be awesome.
Okay, Ashley came to me this morning. Ashley has short hair, very short hair. And we decided to do a quick weave. The quick weave does not entail sewing. It entails us gluing the hair to the scalp. But we use a shield also before we put the glue that protects her hair.
So there's like a shield? Is it an actual physical, like a piece of fabric or something?
It's liquid, but when it's dry, it dries like a plastic. that covers her hair from the glue that I'm gonna put the extensions.
Okay, because I know people worry about the glue getting on the hair or getting.
Well, there's a sheet that covers her hair.
Oh, interesting. So you put something on her hair and then you glue.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you switched to the razor.
Yeah.
You used the scissor in the back.
Yeah.
Why did you want to switch into the razor?
Because as I go down, I don't want to create too much weight as I'm coming out. So go in the
that
razor
big corner
to soften.
Right, because you were lifting and so you're working on the corner on the bottom. I love it. It's very intuitive the way that you cut hair, and it's looking beautiful on the camera here. Again, guys, if you have any questions for Brian, that would be awesome. We'd love to share them. So let's talk a little bit more. Mariah is wondering if it's better for you to work wet or dry. I know we discussed this a little bit, but it's one of those questions.
It's always best to work dry.
And the reason being?
Because it's not actually hair coming from the scalp, it's hair being put in. And also you want to be able to see where the hair has been separated.
Give me a little turn this way so we can see that beautiful work on the sides. So when you Brian's answer here was when he works dry, it's with extensions or also with relaxed hair.
Yeah.
So if that hair is relaxed, you kind of dry it, press it out first, and cut it dry. So extensions and relaxed hair, you cut dry. Naturally curly hair, you work wet. And what's your reason for working naturally curly hair wet?
Because curly hair has no shape, as I always said before, and it's tend to come together, so I could pull, and after I know where I'm cutting, then it curls back into its natural form.
Great. It's great that you have your approach and you've got it all kind of worked out. Now, do you ever work with clippers when you cut extensions?
Yes, I work with clippers sometimes. But this particular bob that I'm doing, I don't want to have no hard edges, so I decided to use my razor. The clipper is going to give it a sharp, hard edges, so I decided to move the razor so I would have a shorter look. What I'm doing as I come from the crown going down, I'm just creating layers. And the 45 coming down.
And really, really knocking that weight off the perimeter. Yeah. And you can see, again, just beautiful, natural human hair extensions that were quick glued in. And again, just working through, taking that weight off the edge. How long does the glue last? Liz Olson is wondering.
The glue probably lasts like up to 2 to going up to 3 weeks.
So so this is a great little service in the salon. Yeah. So Ashley, our beautiful model, has very short hair. Naturally, she has a pixie. Brian did what he called a quick weave.
Quick weave, yeah.
Just glued. How much hair was it?
We bought 2 packs of the hair, so you could use a pack and a half of it.
So a pack and a half of hair, and you said it took you about an hour to get that in.
Yeah.
And now you can have a complete change for the next couple of weeks. So this is, a great way to add to your service. People want more and more variety. And if you can do something like that, that's pretty amazing. So an hour to weave it in, and then maybe you'd spend another hour on cutting and styling afterwards?
So probably like 40 minutes cutting and then curl it.
So she'd be in the salon for an hour and 40 minutes and come out with a completely different look.
Completely different.
And again, it's 100% human hair, and it's reacting really well to the razor. I know lots of people are afraid of razor cutting.
Yeah.
But being here on set, I can see that looks beautiful and smooth and soft. So let's get a close shot there. You can see it just looks exactly like what we want hair to look like. So, you should be afraid of the razor if you haven't practiced. But if you have practiced, then you can see that it's quite beautiful. So again, now just explain to us what's happening on the sides. I can see a fun little purple in there. I don't know if everyone can see that at home.
Yeah, the reason why I give her this little pop of color right here is because it does have a little fun in the bag.
So a little pop of color. So that's just another piece that you kind of wove in.
What's going to happen is when I decide to curl it now, you're going to see more of the blue trending.
Awesome.
You can see I put it on one side, not both sides. I want to put it on one.
Well, the layers are looking beautiful shape. That brings out the back of the head shape so beautifully. And I'll be honest, like for me, if she was walking down the street, to my eye, I wouldn't know that it was extensions. I really wouldn't. And especially because the natural part, because that's the first thing you look for. If you don't see any scalp, right, then you know it's either a very expensive wig or yeah.
What's great about it, when I cut it with a razor, so it has no hard edges.
Yeah.
At the end of the hair, this is how natural hair looks.
Yeah. It's like grown in and natural. Yeah. Awesome. So guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm Gerard Scarpese, co-founder of the Hairbrain community. We're with our friend Brian Andrew. He was a guest about a month and a half ago, and he got so many questions about working with textured hair, working with weaves, working with the different techniques that he works with. We wanted to have him back again, so we're thrilled to have him. We've got a lot lined up here. This is the first look. This is Ashley. This is a quick weave. Andrew explained how he does that. Got it in there really quickly. But he's got 2 more models.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We're going to see some styling. You're going to do some styling here. We're going to show how to work with textured hair and really how to expand your business. You know, it's one of those things that the more different things and techniques and hair textures you're comfortable with, the more money you can make, the more successful you can be.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, after I finish my cutting, I'm going to go in real fast and I'm going to flat iron it and give it a good shape. And then you can see the finished product.
So what lots of people wonder about, Brian, is charging. So, you know, when you're trying to figure out how to charge, do you charge by your time? Do you charge by the amount of hair that you put in? You know, so like for a quick weave and a haircut, you know, again, Brian's salon is here in New York City, in the Bronx. So what would be an estimate if Ashley was your client? What would she spend on something?
For this vertical bob, the client usually supplied the material.
So they bring the hair. They buy the hair themselves.
And my job is to install extensions. And a service like this will only $170 easy. It's a quick weave.
170 to do the quick weave, and then the cut is included, or it's
the
separate?
cut is included. Yeah.
Great. So, and how much would the hair cost?
All depends on what
quality?
Quality of hair.
How much was this? Seems good quality to me.
This here was like $40 for each pack. Yeah.
So $40 a pack.
Yeah.
So it was about $80 worth of hair.
$80 worth of hair.
Great. So I think that's realistic for a lot of you. Imagine, you know, being able to do that. I think that's a great service to add. Love coming in. Angela Crawford says, beautiful model, looking good, love it. Yep, we answered that one. Again, a lot of people are afraid to use the razor, especially on dry hair. But guys, remember, this, if you are afraid, this is a great time to try because it's extensions.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And I can tell you, sitting here in the room and looking at the hair, it doesn't look damaged at all. It actually looks quite beautiful. So if you are afraid of working with a razor, this is a great opportunity to try. Get some extensions, try that quick weave, and do some cutting. Because the more you try, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, and the good thing about it, with extensions, if you go bad, you could always take it out and replace it, put it right back in.
Our friend Monet Everett says a weave needs a great cut. That's awesome. We're going to plan to get Monet here in 2019. She sent me some messages, so we'll be really excited. You know, we feel like it's our obligation at Hairbrain to show the wide world of the craft. There's so many different things you can do, and everyone should do as many things as they possibly can. So if you don't know how to use a razor, try it. If you don't know how to do extensions, try it. It's only going to make you a better hairdresser, and that's always our goal. All right, so it looks like you finished the cut. Starting some styling.
I'm going to go in and start the styling.
So what did you put in there? Was it a little oil or
Just a little heat protecting oil.
heat protecting oil? And this is a brand that we like?
Yeah. Because it's lightweight, it doesn't weigh down in here. And as I go in too much further,
So 1 minute. Now in your salon, do you sell a lot of product? Is that
yeah,
more
everything I use on the client, I use retail.
So you have a good retail business.
Yeah, because I do not want a client to go try something else that doesn't work for them and then
Right.
it becomes a problem. So I do my sectioning right now.
So we're going to start to put some wave and curl into the hair?
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting. And what we're going to use an iron
I'm
or
going to use a flat iron today.
a flat iron? Awesome.
The first iron I'm going to use, I'm going to go in my half inch.
So this is a little skinny little guy. Let's get a close up of that. Super small, Glam Palm. That's a cool name. The Glam Palm. All right, so I know last time there were lots of questions about curling the hair with the iron, so I think people are super excited to see this. So getting in there nice and close. So you're turning it about 180 degrees all the way over?
Yeah.
And is it always that way? Just one complete turn?
No, what I'm doing right now, actually, as I'm doing my curl, I'm trying to pick up a guide. So as I go through all the hair, I'm going to keep going, trending in like this. So by the time the bob falls, it falls like that.
So you're kind of going on that A-line angle. And is that some of her natural hair in the bottom there too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I did at the back, I left her natural hair. So it always look like it's her hair in the front and the back.
Big compliment from Monet Everett saying that weave was put in so well. It's always nice to hear these great compliments. So working up, the sections are kind of on an A line with the bob.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, you can see that, okay, so here's one of the first times we can actually see how the weave is put in. So that's glued right onto the hair. So, you know, I don't know much about extensions, so I guess the question I've seen in the past is, do you glue them to the scalp or the hair?
No, to the scalp.
To the scalp.
Yeah, gluing them to the hair, what's going to happen, you're going to actually rip out the hair. So you got to glue them to the scalp.
So the answer here is when you glue them, you're gluing them to the scalp.
Directly to the scalp.
Because if you go on the hair, it's going to pull and damage the hair.
Yeah.
And you were saying you have like a shield that covers the hair.
Yeah, the hair, the shield that covers the hair. So what happened with the quick weave, you put on that shield and you put on the dry for like 15 minutes, and the shield covers the hair shaft.
So if you're just joining us, I'm Gerard Scarpese. We're here in New York City with my man Brian Andrew. He's got a whole host of beautiful models and some of his team. We're going to be showing you a lot. He just showed you some extensions, some cutting. We've got some more exciting styling going on. We're hosted today at the Crooked Fringe Studio, which is an awesome studio that we use here in New York over the years. So thank you for hosting us, guys. We're up on the 10th floor. I was just looking out the window before. I got a little bit of high anxiety. And Brian now is working into creating some wave and texture using this really kind of mini iron. So let's get back into that. If you've got any questions or you want to share some love, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear it. So again, Brian, if you can recap that technique.
Actually, which part of the technique would you like to know about?
So we've had a few questions, just about extensions. Is it better to sew them in or to glue them?
Okay.
What's your opinion?
Okay, in my opinion, with Ashley, it's simply because of the length of her hair, it's best for me to glue it in. Because with the length of the hair, I cannot go in and sew it.
So she basically had like a pixie cut naturally, so it's quite short, so there's nothing to sew into.
Nothing to sew into.
So like at what point is it long enough to sew?
I would say up to 4 inches.
About 4 inches, then you can do sewing.
Yeah, I have different techniques in which I could get it in. I have one technique called interlock where I could sew the hair with no braid at all.
Sew the hair with no braid at all. So is that what, like piece by piece, or how does that work?
No, you pick up a few strands and you make it like an X and then you tie it in.
Here's a question from Lisa McGrath. Can you wash your scalp when you have
Sure,
glue in?
100%, yes.
Yeah? So you just do it like
Come to the
natural?
salon and get your shampoo just like normal service.
And so the idea here with the glue in like this is it's a quick change. If you want something fun for a couple of weeks, maybe you've got a party or you just want to look different.
Look.
Where the sewing, is that last a lot longer?
The sewing lasts up to like 6 weeks. We would recommend you come and take it out.
Okay.
But at the same time, you can come and get your hair shampoo treated also with the extensions.
So I'm learning a lot. I hope you guys are learning at home. So Brian was saying when the hair is shorter than 4 inches, it's really hard to sew it in. So that's when he goes with gluing. When you glue them in, it's more of a 2-week thing. And yes, you can shampoo your scalp. If you've got more than 4 inches, you can sew them in and they can last longer. And they can keep coming back for maintenance with that, yeah?
Yes. And sometimes what happens, if the client is going out and she doesn't want something that's going to last that long, she just wants a quick change, that's why sometimes we just glue it for a quick minute.
And sometimes maybe just a piece, like a fringe or a bang or something on the hairline.
Yeah, because sometimes if the client is too short and she wants this particular style, we just add pieces for that particular style.
Aretha Cochran is asking, when you do a sew-in, do you use netting for the base? I'm hoping you know what that means.
Exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yes, I do. 95% of the time when I'm doing a sew-in, I use a net. But if the client has like bad dry scalp and stuff like that, I do not use a net because you need to get to the scalp at that time. Because with the net, it could irritate the dry scalp that's beneath the net.
So I mean, and that's a big part of this. I mean, if you're going to be sewing things in, gluing things in, the care of the scalp is important.
It's very, very important.
Yeah. So are there special products and things that you recommend?
Yes.
For scalp care. Wow, this is just beautifully falling in. I mean, to me, it's just kind of mesmerizing to see that, the way you just kind of carve that in, and then this just, you're sectioning with the shape, and your iron is with the shape as well.
Yes.
So you're thinking diagonally the whole time. Pretty awesome. Love coming in from Sarah Allen, watching in England. And yeah, we're answering all these questions, guys, so we'd love to hear as many questions as we could for you. And with a typical haircut, Liz Olson is wondering how much time you book out just for cutting.
Just for cutting? It all depends on the haircut, and I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fast. In a situation like this, I do not really have to follow a specific guide, so it all depends on what sort of style the client is going to get.
About how many clients do you do in a day, on an average day?
Okay, well, I have a staff.
They're all working with you.
All working with you. So we have Jasmine, she does the natural.
And we're going to see Jasmine in just a few minutes here doing some hair. We're excited.
Yeah. So Jasmine does the natural styling. So what we do is, if a client comes in and she got to get a natural style, she needs a haircut, I will go in, do the haircut, and then transfer over to the next stylist. That's good on what the style is going to be.
So you're working with a whole crew and producing, and that's awesome because you can produce a lot more. So you'll do the cut, Jasmine does the styling. Yes. That's awesome. I think it's something so many hairdressers are afraid to do. You know, they feel like they have to do everything or the client's going to be upset. But the truth is, you know, if you have a talented team, you can really build your business that way.
And at the same time, even we could be the best cutter, you might not be the best curler. So you have something to have to transfer.
So we're going to get a couple close-ups of these irons, Jasmine. People are asking what type of iron, what brand. So let's get some close-ups here. And so here we've got Absolute Style. They're all Absolute Styling?
Glam Palm.
Glam Palm is the brand?
The brand, yeah.
And as far as heat, Jasmine, are they turned up all the way?
They're all on 450.
So hot?
Hot.
Because
do you ever turn them down low?
Yes. Because this is extension, sometimes it's very hard to get a shape. So you have to use an anti bevel.
Now, is every one of them is kind of beveled the same? As soon as you go into the root, and it looks to me like you're turning it 180, just one turn and pulling through.
Yeah, and with the flick of the wrist,
and just look at that, guys, at home. You can see that beautiful shape there coming in. And again, I mean, this is all extension, so her hair is quite short. He blended into the natural hairline and is now following it up. Brian, I'm going to turn you around a little bit this way so Kelly can really see the work. Got a good angle there, Kel? Mm-hmm. About how thick are the sections? Is that important, the size of the section?
Yes. So, okay, you first have the client how fullness of you want the haircut to be. So that determines how close I'm going to put the trap.
Now, when you're doing that turn, are you kind of very close to the root, or do you come away from the root a little bit?
I go in. Let me show it to you again. I go right into the roots. My first pull and my second pull. Make my move.
And again, it makes it look so much more real because you know, hair is never perfectly straight. I mean, very, very rarely, unless it's like Asian hair. So even just that little bend looks really real. Jeremy Hickson loves Glam Palm. It's the first I've never heard of Glam Palm iron, so I'm learning a ton today. He says that's a damn good brand and he loves them. Monet Everett loves the blue accent that's coming through. Savannah Lee also loving that pop of blue. Thanks, guys, for all the love and support. Yeah, and we love to hear your questions. We've got a lot more in store for you. So this was the first model from Brian and the team, doing some cutting on some extension and some styling. And we've got 2 more models. So stay tuned. Hit that share button so all your friends can see. And, you know, think about learning things that you've never done before. Like, I've never put extensions in before, either glue or sew, and I'm learning. I'm really learning, so that's what it's all about. That's why we do these classes.
Yeah.
Falling in beautifully. So now this is all 100% extensions here on the side?
Yes, all extensions. All of here has been covered. So none of it has been left out. The only place where hair has been left out is at the back and at the front.
Do you have to do anything to prepare the extensions before you put them in?
No.
So they just come like basically right out of the bag?
After I put in the extension, I mold her with the foam that we have and put it under the dryer. The foam helps the hair to become more natural and have more movement.
So after you put them in, you put a foam in, put it under the dryer, it softens it, makes
softens
it
and make it more natural.
Aretha Cochran is wondering how much, I guess, you left out between the extensions. So how much are they spaced out? Maybe we can get a shot, Cal?
Yeah, they're pretty close. I'm gonna try and give you.
Yeah, because every time I look, it's hard for me to see that there's any. It just looks like her hair. It's coming right out of her head.
Okay. See, so here.
And then you just go right in above it, and
Yeah.
there's another one. So just like track after track or row after row.
But also, when I first started putting the hair, it's a straight line. I started with from the back, and as I climb to the top, it becomes a semicircle because I'm closing in. Because remember, the human.
So kind of like an onion, like circular.
When I first started, it was a cross, and as I
Cross.
start trending up, it starts to come to a semicircle.
So through the side, it's like this here.
And I can keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Because that's how hair naturally flows, right? So it goes straight up here, and then you start to curve up.
Yeah.
Okay. It all makes sense. I mean, the one thing about great hairdressing is when someone explains it to you, it should make sense. Very rarely are you like, oh, I don't understand that. It makes perfect sense. Stacy Russell says, hi, Brian. Stacy here, supporting the movement. Got some love coming there. Tish says, Brian is the bomb. Stylist and his staff is awesome. So you got some friends watching, got some love coming in. Now, do you do any education or classes? Do you train your staff, or do you train people outside?
I do have personal classes where you could DM me, and I could give you a one-on-one. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, where would they DM you? What's your...
on my Instagram, on B_here_Andrew.
Awesome. Brenda says you're looking buff. So you've been hitting the gym? You've been hitting the gym, Andrew?
No, that's what
I get it, from working out in the iron. Yeah? Yeah.
Because I do this every day, from the time I go into the salon until I'm ready to leave.
Yeah, so that's
this
working
is my
out
passion.
the bicep and the tricep. I get it. I understand. Awesome. So again, guys, thanks for the love. Plenty more coming here. We wanted to show you this beautiful quick cut on these extensions and the styling using the iron. You can see that movement in the wrist. We've got 2 more models, and we're going to get to meet some more of Brian's team. We're going to see Jasmine do some of her work. So don't go anywhere, and hit that share button so your friends can watch too. Do you have apprentices in the salon? Like, do people come in, new to hairdressing that learn from you?
Okay, I would say no, I have no apprentices right now. It's like we learn from each other. Mm. Yeah. So we have Brian, he's another stylist that I have right there, that's another Brian. And he was a stylist before. What I usually do with apprentices, it can happen.
Thanks, Monet, for sharing. Monet Everett shared with some of her groups on Facebook so they can see this great education coming from Brian Andrews. Brian, if you're just joining us, he showed us how he did this kind of quick weave, quick extension here, glue-in extensions, and now he's working with his flat iron to show us how he curls this. It looks beautifully natural to me. Did a little bit of razor cutting. Yeah. If you guys missed any of that, later on you can go back at any time and hit the rewind and watch it. Okay, just get you turned around a little bit, make sure Kelly's got a good angle there. Working around the face. Now, what type of tail comb? Does it matter what type of combs that you use? I know Kelly told me last time you really like carbon combs.
I like carbon combs because carbon combs actually could take the heat.
So it's important when you're working with this level of heat to use a carbon comb because they won't melt.
Won't melt, yeah.
Awesome.
And my saying through all that professional products, you get professional results.
Now, I noticed that your fingers can take the heat because you get your fingers right on there. So
after many years of doing this, it's like I don't even feel it.
You don't even feel it, no.
Because I work under this heat every day.
Do you ever work with the traditional like oven and those kind of tongs?
That's what I actually started with.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the oven, and then after the flat iron came into play, I just have to advance and keep moving.
So you don't use the oven in the salon at all anymore? Does anybody do that really, or?
I can't tell the last time I've used it.
Really?
But I could come back and do another show with the oven.
Yeah. So that's for those who've never seen it, it's you have an oven that's plugged in. It's a metal oven, and then you have these different sizes and shaped tongs. They're not plugged into anything. You actually put them in the oven. They heat up, and you work with the hair. And before we had all these great electronics. And I'm sure there's still some people that are probably partial because they always did it that way.
Yeah.
There's some salons where they still do it.
Yeah, some salons still do. I still got it. But it's just in storage.
Yeah. Amanda Dawkins, these irons, they're called, what's the name again? Is it Palm?
Clam.
Glam Palm. Glam Palm irons. This is what Brian loves. A lot of people along here said that those are great irons. So check them out. Yep, a stove and Marcel irons. That's correct. Thank you, Rosemary. So that's kind of the traditional way. There's a stove, and then you've got these tongs or Marcel irons. But with all this great technology, we've moved now. We've got these beautiful flat irons to work with. Again, getting some beautiful bend in the hair there. Turning it around just a little bit so Kelly can get a good shot. So Rosemary, Scott has a friend who still uses the stove in Marcel. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are still using it. Especially if that's what you learned on. Sometimes people are like, that's what I'm going to stick with. Yep, Jeremy Hickson says a girl that he works with uses one, and it's very cool to watch her do it. Again, you can see that falling in beautifully, beautiful razor cut, a little combination of scissor and razor. Now it looks like this is probably really important. Let's get some shots here, Kel, because we can really see that you're getting close to the natural part that you left in. And I guess this is super important for the quality of the finish.
Yeah, that right here is the most important.
It's like the money part, right? Where people are going to say,
Because without this, with a perfect finish, it's going to look like an extension.
Right. So this, how long will this last before she needs to wash and restyle it, what you're doing right here?
Actually, she's going to use it here just like a regular service. She can come back to me 2 weeks from today, and I'll come and shampoo her here.
Is that pretty typical for you, Ashley, how you do when you get this done? Will you wait 2 weeks before?
Yeah, well, usually I'm in there weekly. Like, I like my hair to look good. So I'm more every week type of girl.
So you're in the salon every week, and Brian's been doing your hair for a while?
Yes, since
Right on.
May, actually. Yeah.
Can't live without him.
Can't.
Right on. It's important to find the right hairdresser, especially if you're in the salon every week.
Yes.
How many of your percentage of your client comes every week, Brian?
I will say about 70%.
70%. So that's such a, oh my God. When I used to think about business, so 70% of your people are coming every week. I mean, all you need is 50 dedicated clients and then a few that aren't even that dedicated, and you make a great living. Where a lot of us are out there killing ourselves because we tell people, oh, come back every 8 weeks. 8 weeks? I want people to come in every week. But they got to be people you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of my clients also, they have short hair, so they want to maintain it and make it always look fresh.
Yeah, of course. Now, but okay, let's talk about that a little bit though. If it's someone you really don't like is coming to you every week, and of course, I'm sure you never had that problem if any of your clients are watching. But that's got to be a little tough, right? Because it's nice if you have a good relationship, but what if someone is difficult and they come to you every week?
Okay, after a while, it becomes second-hand nature. You already know what the person is like, so when they come, you do the work, you zoom them out.
Yeah.
No, you just
So zone them out and just do the work.
Yeah.
This has got to happen, right? I have those clients. Maybe I'll say, "Oh, you should come twice a year."
And a client could walk to the door for the first time,
Yeah.
and you automatically you'll be in the business a lot. You said that's
Oh,
a
you
problem
know.
right there. You see
You
it
know.
coming.
Yeah, you can see them coming. That's like a sixth sense that good hairdressers have. You got to be a good people person. I imagine if you're seeing people every week, you got to really be a good people person. But I also
Okay,
imagine
I'm at the top now.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do? I'm
that's all her
pressing-
natural hair,
All of her
Okay.
natural hair.
and this is super important right now.
Yes.
So any tips here on making this really blend with the extensions?
Yes, it goes exactly from the root, press it out, and now you get a little C as you move it. And just comb it out.
Let's turn around to the light so we can really because now it's just flawlessly blending. I'm gonna turn you even one more time. Look at that. Again, to me, I would never know that was extensions, especially because you can see the scalp right
If you're
there
going to write it as a finish
Yeah.
with the extension did end.
and natural hair above it.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll press her naturally out on there. Then what's above, I'll go back in, go from the roots like it's a silk press, and I'll press it out.
So working with Brian Andrew, salon owner from the Bronx, Hair by Brian. He's been in business now for well over 20 years. What are some changes that you've seen in the industry since you started? You know, if you've been doing this, I'm sure you've been doing hair even longer than you own the salon. But, you know, have you seen any big changes in clients and hair? What are some things?
What I've seen in a lot of big changes a couple of years ago, a lot of clients, instead of doing their natural hair, they started wearing a lot of wigs.
Wigs?
Yeah. When the lace front wigs came in.
Right, and those are expensive, like the ones that look real, where it looks like it's a crippled literally.
They have crippled the business just a little. So you have to get creative now and, you know, put back some of the styles.
Are you saying that because they can just do that themselves? They just buy the wig and put it on?
The wig and just put it in, yeah.
But then they just come to you to style it, or it doesn't even need styling?
Sometimes they need a good haircut, so they come and put it on, and you have to cut it. And also,
Well, how much does a lace front wig, a good lace front wig, cost?
It could cost what?
A couple $1,000, right? From
Yeah,
yeah,
a couple of hundred.
a couple hundred.
Few hundred.
And again, then they can just have their own natural hair, maybe wear it short or do like a wrap. Like
And
you call it like a wrap.
the braid, what they usually do, they braid the hair underneath of the wig.
Oh, so then you can maybe it'll grip onto the braid and keep it close to the head.
Yeah.
I used to work with some Dominican girls and they call it like a doobie. Right, have you heard when they wrap the hair? Have you guys ever heard that term? Yeah. And I started in cosmetology school. All the girls in my school were Dominican, and that's all they did all day was like take each other's hair and set it around their head. Yeah.
Put it in the
And they call it a doobie, and I know what a doobie is. It's a doobie.
She actually
Looking beautiful.
Ashley's here now.
Shiny, beautiful, natural. Looks incredible to me. Let's get a real 360 here. We can see the natural parting there. So again, if you're just tuning in, these were extensions that were put in with a glued in onto the scalp. A natural fall, circular pattern. Brian then went in and cut this beautiful kind of A-line, or what he calls like a vertical bob, and then went through and put some bend in with the iron. It looks absolutely beautiful. Now we've got more, guys, so don't go anywhere. We've got, I think, at least 2 more models. Let's see the finish here on Ashley. Gotta get your arms out. Show us how sassy you are. A little bit of work to do there. Fantastic. Looking gorgeous. All right, what's next? I think we've got Jasmine's going to show us a little bit of work now. All right, guys, so thank you, Brian. Brian's going to stick around. We're going to
do a press and curl.
Okay, come on in. We'll just put this over you so you don't get any product or anything. You can stick your arms through there. Clip this off back here. All right, so what do we have here? Is this extensions? Is this natural hair?
Okay, this issue here is natural. What we did last night, on the previous show before, Letitia was with us, and her hair was actually red. If you watch the previous show before that we had, and she had a rod set. So last night we decided to change her hair color a little bit. So we stick with the red. We stuck with the red base. We went in from like 1.5 inches away from the red with some future, and at the end we put some orange on there.
So this is all her natural hair.
All her natural hair.
Do you do a lot of color? Is it a big part of your salon business?
That's been a big part of the service in the salon. We do a lot of color.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger.
It's just like every salon.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this beautiful, and your name is?
Letitia.
This is Letitia, and you can see this beautiful color. Natural hair, is it relaxed? Or
No, it's
so you straight
press and curl.
It's a press and curl.
Jasmine actually pressed it last night.
So you did the press part, and now you're going to do the curl
Just to
part.
speed up the process here. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go in and trim it, and then after Jasmine is going to go in and do the curl for it.
Okay, so we're going to get to see a little bit of cutting, and then we're going to see some more
Just
curl.
like what we were talking earlier before, we work as a team.
Excellent.
So I will do the cutting, and then I'll transfer to Jasmine.
So it's exactly how Brian works in the salon. The clients come in, he's doing the cutting, and then Jasmine's doing some of the styling. And again, it's a great way to maximize your time. So any tips here with cutting? Anything in particular that we should be looking for?
Okay, she previously needed a trim, so I'm just taking off of her frizz ends after Jasmine had previously pressed her here today.
Any preference in scissors? Anything in terms of length or shape that you find is ideal?
So I like to use a 5x5 also because also I'm a lefty, and it's hard to find a lefty.
You know what? I just noticed that you're a lefty.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. Yeah, it can be hard to find good lefty scissors.
Yes, because sometimes when I go to the shows and they have the scissors that I like, but they don't have it in the lefty.
So as a lefty, did you find it hard to find good people to teach you? Since I hear that all the time. There's so few lefties, it's hard for you to learn.
And everything that I've seen sometimes from the right, so I have to sometimes figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm a lefty, so we tend to use the opposite side.
Yeah, absolutely. So and we hear that a lot, and it's, as a right-handed educator, I can always say, oh, just do it opposite from me, but it doesn't, We have one member of our kind of extended education family who's a lefty, Tristan Morrison from Toronto, and we did a series of left-handed HB Lives. Like I said, we want to try to reach everyone and show all this great education, so you should check those out, because it's nice to see another left-handed cutter, like you were saying. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, I'm Gerard Scarpese, co-founder of the Hairbrain Community. We are here live from the Crooked Frame Studio. Our good friends are on the 10th floor of 30th Street in New York City, and we're here with Brian Andrew. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going on for us. He just did a beautiful look with extensions and cutting and styling. Now he's getting Letitia ready to get some beautiful styling from Jasmine, doing some cutting here. So talk to us about now the technique that you're using and why.
Okay, what I'm doing is Letitia, I'm trimming the ends. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to add some long layers inside of this. So when Jasmine curl her hair, you can see the movement.
So the layers will bring out more volume and give more shape.
And I want to see the variation of the colors also that we put in.
So trimming up the baseline, then coming through. Would you say it's just kind of like 90 degrees and rounded through? Yeah, beautifully falling, beautiful hair.
Thank you.
We can see that. 100% natural hair. No relaxer on the hair.
No relaxer.
And I typically, to get this kind of color, could you get that on relaxed hair, or would it just be too damaged?
It would be too much for the relaxer.
So when your clients want, they kind of have to choose. And this is beautiful, the way it fades from the purple into the orange. What did you use for color? What was the product?
Okay, first we went into Letitia here with some ammonium-free bleach, and then we lifted her out to like a level 7 blonde. And from her base, I went in with this product from Jazz, the color, the 666, which has the red.
And that's what we're seeing in here.
Yeah. And then after, I used a different color, which is a vegetable-based rinse. And the vegetable-based rinse for the future, and orange, like 1.5 inches away from the roots, I put in the future. And then coming out to the tips, I use the orange.
It's beautiful color here. Hopefully it reads as well on the phone at home or on the computer, because here in person it's really, really lovely. You can see the natural base, and then it goes and it just kind of tapers out, looking beautiful. So this cut for you, this is like your standard long layer?
Yeah.
I bet you do this a lot.
Yeah.
Put the baseline in, layer it, and kind of, now you're doing some face framing?
Yeah.
I notice you're moving to point cutting now.
Yeah, what I want to do, I'm trying to take off the weight off of that tissue so that my hair is natural. And when the hair is curly, it's very heavy. Right. So I don't want after she has that heaviness, it's all blunt.
Now, do you do this often? Now, so Letitia's got completely natural hair, so I imagine she's got a beautiful curl. Do you often straighten it and cut it for curly hair?
For curly hair.
Yeah, just so you can get a more technical shape.
After it goes back curly, she'll have a good shape.
Yeah. Fantastic, and just kind of extending those layers down until they run out. And again, even when cutting, do you prefer carbon combs?
Always prefer carbon combs.
Yeah. It's really smoothing on the hair, and they don't bend or break. Charlene Drake loves the cut. Trish says that the color is poppin'. Beautiful color from Alexandria. Eiley says, I love the colors. Arilyn says, looks good. Our good friend Kia Artistically Neil says, hi guys. Hey Kia, how are you? Hope things are going well. And if you're just joining us, guys, we're working with Brian Andrew today. He's a salon owner here in New York, a salon out in the Bronx, and he's been showing us a ton of stuff. This is the second model, natural hair, no relaxer. It's been just kind of, we'll talk about how it was pressed. Is it blown out first with a brush, or how do you go from wet to straight like this? What's the process? Do you want to talk about it, Jasmine?
Sure.
This is Jasmine. She works with Brian. Does love and styling. So after this hair is shampooed and colored, how do you get to this state? Because this is so beautiful and shiny and smooth that I think we'd love to hear about that.
So after I cleanse and condition Letitia's curly hair, I blow dry it. Before I put a blow dryer to it, I use a leave-in conditioner. And I kind of use the comb attachment to just kind of detangle and comb it.
So like on the diffuser, the front with like, it's like a pick?
Right.
Like a comb attachment? Yeah. I've seen those. I've never used one. Yeah, but that explains it.
So
And you just kind of like wrap it through, or you go
I
through
kind of
sections?
section it off because I want to have control of curly hair. So I kind of section it in four, start at the ends, and I kind of detangle it all the way. After I detangle it, I go in with a brush and smooth it out some more.
Okay.
After that, I go in and I press it out using the comb chase method. Means I section it.
The comb chase method.
Right, with the
I like
brush.
that. I love new terms. You know, a craft has to have terms.
So I have to go in like this, and I kind of just make sure that I'm getting a smooth with one press.
So the comb is giving you the tension and feeding
Right.
it in. It's like
And
it's
making sure
smooth.
it's straight.
Because you don't want to go over it 500 times.
No,
One
only
press.
one
One
press, yes.
press. And that iron's all the way up at 450.
It's at 450.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now you got this beautiful straightness in the hair. So the next part is to start to create some wave or curl.
I'm going to curl it today.
Okay. So here's step 2. This is how we got here. Brian did this beautiful cut and color. And now Jasmine, part of the team, is going to show us how she creates a curl in the hair.
So I just take the flat iron, I go in at the base, I turn it, and I just pull the flat iron towards my chest. Then I let it go, and Letitia has a curl.
Okay, so let's see that again. Now I know a lot of people have, trying to play around with these techniques, but this is something that you're doing every day,
Yes.
all the time. So how big of a section is it, and what angle is the section?
I do it on a diagonal, and I would say maybe 2 inches. I can make them smaller, bigger, just depends on how many curls I want.
Okay. So with this, would you say this is bigger or smaller?
Oh,
than the
I would
average?
say it's kind of medium.
Medium.
Yeah.
Okay. And I notice you're lifting, you're elevating.
Yeah,
in the
because I
same-
want to keep body in it. I don't want it so flat. And that's just a preference. I cannot lift it and just kind of hold it down.
And then the root would be flatter.
Right.
So again, like a 180, you just turn the iron one time,
One time, and then I pull it towards my chest.
and then pull it towards your chest. And then afterwards, you twirling it here.
Yeah, just to set the
How
curl in
important is
place.
that?
Not really. I could just let it fall.
Right. And then so you go through the whole head and let this kind of cool down for a
Let
while?
it cool down, yes.
Bob Wilcox says beautiful curl.
Thank you.
Otis, I think is maybe one of your friends, says you guys are looking wonderful, teamwork power. Our buddy Joe Profita just joined in. Diane Miller is watching from sunny California. Charlene Drake says so beautiful. Thanks guys for all the love here. We love questions. And yes, these are definitely the Glam Palm flat irons, and apparently I'm learning that these are the best because everybody says how much they love the Glam Palm irons. My first time hearing about them. Now, how long have you and Brian worked together?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. And how long have you been doing hair?
About 15 years on and off.
How did you get started?
I've always liked to do my own hair.
That's a good place to start. Right?
And maybe when I was like 15, I saw a style in a magazine, and I aced it on myself. And I was like, oh, I could really do this. And that's how it started.
Excellent. Did you ever go to school? Go to
Oh,
college?
absolutely.
So are you from New York?
I'm from Brooklyn, yes.
Well, Brooklyn in the house. What part? I'm from Brooklyn too. Still live there. Yeah.
What part?
I was born in Bay Ridge, and now
Okay.
we live in downtown Brooklyn,
Nice.
in Carroll Gardens.
Okay.
Yep. Brooklyn in the house, right here. Anybody, let us know where you're watching from, guys. We got Brian from Antigua to the Bronx, Kelly behind the camera. She's from California to Brooklyn. Jasmine's a Brooklyn girl. Letitia's a Brooklyn girl. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. We'd love to hear. And if you have any questions here, again, what we're trying to do is help everybody see there's so much opportunity in hair. So many different ways to do things, and if we all have a broader skill set, think how much more successful we can be. I meet so many hairdressers that aren't successful financially, and honestly, they almost always have the same thing in common. They haven't educated themselves a lot. They're in a very small niche. They only do things one way, and they don't branch out. So what we're trying to encourage here with Constant Education is to show you guys there's so many different things with hair, so many different colors and textures and hair types to work with. And the more diverse you are, the more successful you'll be. If you're just joining us, we're here with Jasmine, and she's showing us how to use this Glam Palm flat iron to do these beautiful curls. So coming into the side now, Jasmine?
Yes.
So the section now, it looks a little bit almost like a diamond over the ear. Is that a specific reason why it's on like that angle?
Yeah, so it can move.
Yeah, because
once I'm done, it'll have nice movement.
It's like almost like a triangular section there.
Right.
And it just kind of fits in.
With the back.
And now you're kind of pivoting off that point?
Yes.
Because, yeah, you know, with something like this, if the sectioning isn't right, it looks kind of artificial, huh? We've got Kenesha Forrest, Los Angeles is in the house. Our good friend Martin Duff is watching. Gordon Miller just tuned in. We've got Tish from Brooklyn to the Bronx. Becca Warner watching from Ontario. Thanks for all the shout outs, guys, and love. If you're just joining us, we're here with Brian Andrew and some of his team, showing a lot of diversity today in terms of technique. Our first model, if you missed it, Brian showed us a quick weave, showed us some incredible cutting techniques on that weave, and then he went through and showed us how to kind of really polish it, and we'll bring that model back. Now we're moving on to Jasmine showing us how to do a little bit of a curl on this hair that's been pressed. Letitia has naturally curly hair, no relaxer whatsoever. So last night they colored her to this beautiful, beautiful, almost kind of orangey purple ombre where it tapers out. Jasmine shared with us how she got it so beautifully smooth, and now she's showing us the curl. If you don't mind recapping the whole process of how to get this hair smooth and then go into the curl, we'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. I usually use a leave-in. Sometimes I also use a blow-dry cream. Before I start the blow-drying process, I use the comb attachment on Letitia's hair, followed by a Denman brush to smooth it out before I went in and did the flat ironing.
Our good friend Kia is wondering what products you used here before you blow-dried.
I used Mazzani's Miracle Milk leave-in.
That's a very popular line, Mazzani,
Yes.
and that Miracle Milk, that's kind of like a go-to product?
Yes, I love it.
Patricia Thornhill loves the flat iron curls.
Thank you.
We've got another Patricia watching from Poland. It's great. It's amazing. We have people all over the world, you know, kind of learning together, and we love that, guys. So that's why we keep doing it. Show us some love. Show your support here for Brian and Jasmine with all the little thumbs ups. All right, so we've got the one side done into the back. Now coming around, let's just turn all the way around so we can see this side on camera. Now, then you kind of let it cool down.
Yeah.
And is this something that then you'll typically kind of brush through or run your fingers through?
I can brush through. I usually sometimes wrap it around, like the doobie you were talking about earlier, and
Right.
then I'll comb it down because it'll relax the curl.
Makes it look real.
Yes.
So this is, you know, kind of part number 2 of what we call like a press and curl.
Yeah.
So you straightened it, pressed it, then you're curling it, then there's some dressing work that's going to happen after. Neil Ramp, these flat irons are Glam Palm.
Glam palm.
Yep, and what we're hearing is these are the ones that everybody loves, the Glam Palm flat irons. Michael Snyder loves the whole look. What's up, Michael? Always glad to have you here. Kia Neal, our good friend, says so shiny. Did you guys use any gloss on this when you colored it?
No gloss when we colored it. After I blew dry it, I did use a little of the oil that Brian used earlier on her hair.
So this
And
is
that's
the,
it. Yeah.
and that's what you guys use in the salon. It's an argan oil.
Right.
Lovely. Yeah, because I can tell you, being here in the room and feeling the hair, it's smooth, it's shiny, and you guys are having really no challenges working with it, so it must be a very light oil.
Very light because I don't want to weigh her hair down and I don't want it to be heavy.
So if you're hearing some horns in the background, we're in New York City. We're actually right across the street from Madison Square Garden at the Crooked Fringe Studio, which is our good buddy Simon Miller's studio. And that's why you're hearing those a lot. You know, we're right here in the middle of New York City, so you're always going to hear horns. So shout out for New York City traffic. Now, how much of this are you doing in the salon every day, like the press and curl, like the 2 parts like that? Is that a standard procedure for you? And how much time do you spend? And how do you price something like this?
Well, this is kind of standard. And how long does it take? An hour to an hour and a half, depending on the texture and the length of someone's hair.
And again, what we were talking about earlier is a lot of your clients are weekly appointments, which to me is amazing. I mean, it's just like when I first started cutting hair about 30 years ago, we used to say, every 5 weeks you need to come in. Now, I'll be honest, the way that hair cutting, and especially more Caucasian hair, let's be honest, they want to stretch that out for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Some of them don't even come in more than twice a year because they just get some long layers and some highlights and you see them twice a year. So something to think about here, guys, when you're thinking about opportunity and how to make more money is to be diverse and to do all different types of hair types and hair textures. Because it's great to have some people you only see twice a year, but imagine if you had 20 or 30 people that came in every week. To be honest with you, that's your mortgage right there because you can count on it. So a lot to think about here, guys, and how we coordinate our business and what we do in the world of hair. So it looks like we're coming pretty close to the finish here. So again, you put that diamond and then the sections, they're almost very triangular.
Yes.
So, it just makes me think of a thing in cutting because the head is like round and it makes me think of like a soccer ball.
Yes.
You can only divide it up equally with like little triangles. Is that kind of something that occurs to you while you do this?
Yeah, it's like the same thing. It's the same process because you want to follow the shape of the head.
Yeah, because, vertical or horizontal, you eventually run out.
Yep.
But by working more triangular, guys at home, if you think about a soccer ball, it's all made up of these little triangles. And then they all fit together perfectly. And, you don't see any roots or any partings or anything, which is going to be super important. Letitia, does Jasmine do your hair often?
She does.
Yeah, so
well,
are you a once-a-weeker?
That's a tricky question.
Okay. We like tricky answers.
Yes, I do. As you were told, I have natural hair, so I wear my hair curly a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really go to the salon when I want to change the color, which is pretty often for this year, so special occasions. So Jasmine and Brian would take care of my hair, make sure it's in good condition before
That's
they
your
color
glam squad right there?
Yes, they are.
All right, what are you spreading through the hair now?
So I'm just spraying a little bit more of that oil throughout her hair.
Our good buddy Michael Snyder says you have great hands, which is obvious. Yeah. Great hands. Again, guys, thank you for joining. So much love and people coming, really watching us from all over. All right, so I see now that you're moving into the brush.
All right, so I'm just going to brush this around. It's not necessary, but just to loosen up the curls some.
And this is what we were talking about. If you guys been watching, when I was in cosmetology school, there were a lot of Dominican girls in my school, and this is what I used to see them doing all day long. They called it a doobie, like a wrap. I guess maybe at home if you know what a doobie is. It's like rolling it up around the head. So this kind of will stretch out those curls in a very natural way.
Right, they'll stretch them out in a natural way, and sometimes I put them under the dryer with the plastic cap, kind of sealing some.
Or maybe she'll go home like this and sleep on it, so that
coming
tomorrow.
out in the morning,
Yeah. So the doobie it's really incredible with the color, and the idea here now is to just really kind of stretch out some of that curl, and you could go home like this, or you can kind of just finish it. Will we finish now, or we'll bring her in a little bit and finish it?
Yeah, well, we can just.
So guys, don't go anywhere. We've got another model here. We're going to see some very short hair. Brian's going to show us some curling techniques on very, very short hair, which is something I'm sure that's a challenge. Now, it's amazing how much that doobie just kind of pulled it out. Do you call it that, or you call it a roll?
You can call it a doobie, a wrap.
I think every hairdresser who went to school in Brooklyn or the Bronx would know that term. But sometimes I say it and people look at me like I'm crazy. Beautiful. Let's get it nice, beautiful with the curl, the color. Let's get this gown off you. Let's see the full effect. Va boom, stand up, show us what you got. Yes. So good. All right, so that's Letitia's look, and we'll bring both Letitia and Ashley back in a little while. We're bringing in our third model. Please remind me of your name.
Kamate.
This is Kamate. You can see she's got very beautiful short hair. I'm sure, Brian, this is your haircut?
Yeah, my haircut, yeah.
And Brian's going to show us now how to curl very short hair, which obviously can be a little scary for some of us, how to get really close to the head and curl short hair. Put your arms right there. Jahari Coop says he's never seen the doobie before. Great tip. He loved it. Gorgeous work coming in from Bob Wilcox. Trichologist Oma C. Wither says, oh, baby. Becca Warner saying beautiful. Lots of love coming in for color, for everything here. So Brian's working on the third model here, so he's really really put out a lot of effort for you guys. So show him some love from home. Now on Kamate, tell us what you're going to do.
Okay, Kamate has a short haircut. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to style it. This short haircut you could wear in various ways.
And this is 100% natural hair.
No, my hair's been
It's all you, but it is it's relaxed. Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about relaxing, relaxers, your philosophy, what you use.
Okay, my relaxer that I use at my salon is called Syntonic. It's a botanical relaxer.
It's Syntonic?
Syntonic.
Syntonic.
It's made from plant extract. Even though you know the lye is what helps straighten the hair, but it has a low percentage of lye. And I only use sensitive scalp at the salon.
Always. So sensitive scalp
all the way. No
and very low lye.
Yeah.
And any tips? Any tips on what makes a great relaxing service? So it's the product, the timing, the application.
It all depends on the quality of the relaxer that you use.
The quality of the product, yeah. Okay, so lots of people want to hear about the color, but we also go ahead and show us your curling technique, and then talk to us about the color as well.
Okay,
because it's relaxed and colored, so that's a good combination there.
Okay. Kamate here was relaxed 2 weeks ago, and what I do after relax, you have to wait 2 weeks after before we could do your permanent color. You could relax it here at the same time and get a semi-permanent, but we cannot give you a permanent. So after that 2 weeks, Kamate came in last night. Here was a 1B, which is a dark brown. And what I did, I went in with a medium brown, and we lift her out to the stone that she has right here. And then after, I went in with some highlights to just break up the color, so the color have a little bit more movement.
Our good friend Hannah Ruth Evans from Van Michael is watching. Love you guys. Say hello. Say Merry Christmas to everyone at Van Michael, our good friends there. Hannah, today we're working with Brian Andrews, and he's showed us a lot today. He really has gone all out, from extensions to hair cutting to styling long hair. Now we're talking about curling very short hair. All right, I noticed you just changed direction there.
Yeah.
So you kind of went in each direction following the crown?
Yeah, in this curl pattern I'm doing, I started from the crown. And this is a short pixie.
So with the pixie, you went around the crown,
yes,
and now
I'm going to work my way around.
Circular again.
Yeah, until I reach the nape of the head.
So that's kind of a theme. With the extensions, you glued them in a circle, and with the curling, you glue, and it just makes sense because hair kind of grows in a circle. Yeah. So I totally get that.
And what I'm doing as I'm curling the hair, I'm moving towards the bottom of it, but what I'm trying to do not to make all the curls uniform.
Dominic Bartolo, thanks for the love. He's really enjoying the session today. Different types of textured hair. Yep, and that's what we endeavor to do at Hairbrained, is just show you there's so much to our craft. And, master one thing at a time and keep learning new things. Different types of hair, different approaches, so that you can continue to have a really busy, successful career.
Last time I was here, I'd gotten a lot of DMs when they asked me how do I curl the hair. And this is the opportunity for you to see again how I get this done.
So this is the Glam Palm Iron.
Yeah.
The smallest one I would imagine that they have.
No, that's not the smallest
one.
one.
It's not the smallest one. Okay. So this is the medium one.
Yeah, this is a half inch.
Half inch.
Yeah. And they have the 3/10 of an inch, which I use right at the back.
And you started in the center, and you're kind of going in a circular pattern out. And these first ones were going forward. Now you're going back. How do you choose when you want to go forward and when you want to go back?
As I curl the hair, in my head I'm creating a style. It's not really a pattern I'm following, but I'm creating something that's going to fit Kamate.
So now you're going under.
Yeah.
Now, will that create more texture when you kind of run your fingers through this, or going different directions that make it have more separation?
Movement.
More movement.
And with this curl, it's a flick of the wrist.
Nick, you have a friend watching. T. Monet says, "Go Tay Tay."
I can't. That's my friend.
Is that your friend?
Yes.
Say
Shout
hello.
out to T Money.
Merry
Shout out
Christmas. Yeah, you got a friend watching. I'm sure you got a lot of friends watching.
I hope so. I told them to go on.
And where are you from?
New York, from
Brooklyn, Bronx,
I'm a
Queens?
Queens girl.
Oh, we got it all.
Got all the boroughs.
All the boroughs.
We need Staten Island.
Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, from the Battery to the top of Manhattan.
And a
That's
lot
my
of these
theme
clients
song.
that I have with the short hair, they come and see you 2 weeks and weekly.
So, this is something you do weekly.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, typically then, will your client do much of it themselves at home? Do they have to do
No.
things to refresh it, or it's
All
pretty
you
much?
have to do at home is to tie the sides and keep the top open.
So tie the sides like with a scarf or something,
Yeah.
like when they're sleeping?
We have a stuff that we call the rack cap.
The wrap cap.
Yeah, we put it around here.
And that goes around here so that this doesn't get any like crinkles in it when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when a person sleeps, people sleep on the side at the back. They can't sleep on the top.
Unless they're a vampire. Hang from the ceiling.
Yeah, the reason why we actually leave the top open so they can sweat it out.
Yeah. And then weekly kind of come in, you guys wash the hair, care for the scalp.
Yeah,
We were saying before that, that scalp care is super important here. Yeah, so are there any particular oils or anything that you recommend to keep the scalp healthy?
Well, actually, that oil that we use for curl, we use it a lot because it has a vitamin inside of it.
So the same argan oil, yeah,
Hair and the skin.
hair and skin.
And also, we recommend that client drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. This is all good, important stuff. Absolutely. Now, as you go down, you go into smaller and smaller.
Smaller and
oils?
smaller, yeah.
Right.
And something like this, when the client sit in my chair, after finish get the shampoo and mold and dry, it probably takes me like 20 minutes or less to curl this here.
Lots of love coming in. Alexandria Ulisse says, "That's my baby." Is that another friend of
gosh,
yours? All your
yes.
friends are doing it. She wants to know when you went blonde.
Yesterday. That's my friend from school. She graduated, and now I am too. So.
Oh, right on. Where are you going to school for?
Marketing.
Oh, excellent. All right, so now you're coming into kind of the longer area where she had her bang or a fringe. Lots of people are asking about the haircut. If you could explain the haircut a little bit as you style this front.
Okay, this is a basic short haircut, pixie cut where a lot of clients get on an everyday basis. It's so you probably come and say I want a short pixie or want a boy cut. So these are the stuff that we will do.
And was this with the scissor or the razor?
Scissors all the way, or I could go with the clipper on the sides. But the reason why sometimes I use the scissors a lot because I want to keep soft edges.
Mm-hmm. So this doesn't look so blunt and edged out. Yeah, a little bit more feminine.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you do a lot of men's hair or are you strictly women's hair?
No, strictly women's hair.
Me too. I'm the same.
At one time when I first started, I used to, but after I wanted to stick with the female hair only.
I have one male client. And he comes almost bi-weekly. He's my only every 2 week client. Other than that, they have to be a brother or someone who was a cousin or something, and I cut their hair during the holidays.
Yeah, but with the short pixie like this, they tend to come to the salon every week.
It's dreaming, but it's worth
And
it.
it gotta look good, right? Yeah, gotta look good. Because, in reality, even someone who's talented with their own hair could never really do this themselves.
No.
I just don't even see how it would be possible. You've done probably, 50 curls already, going in different directions. So.
Right now, I could downgrade it to the 3/10 of the inch from the same company.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen an iron that small. Look at that. So this is Glam Palm, which I'm just being introduced to. Glam Palm. So obviously that's a popular iron because lots of people are saying they're the best.
From the time I've been using it, never failed me so far.
Some people are wondering also about the relaxer again. If you could talk a little bit about the relaxer that you use.
Okay, the relaxer I use is from Avalon. That's the company, and it's called Syntonic. It's a sensitive scalp relaxer. Also, they have the regular. But all my clients that I work on, we only use sensitive scalp because I figured if it's a relaxer, it will naturally break down the hair. And when we relax the hair, we don't want the hair bone straight. We want the hair to have some sort of texture inside of it because when the hair is so straight, it tends to break.
Right, right. So it's an Avalon product. That's a big family of relaxers, and you use this one particular one, Syntonic.
Yes, Syntonic, yeah.
And you use it for sensitive scalp.
Sensitive scalp only. That's the only one that we use it.
You know, one of the questions, you know, is in timing with relaxers. I mean, is there something that you can see in the hair where you know it's ready to come off, or?
Okay, it should take you like 10 minutes to relax someone's client's hair.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, max.
Because again, you don't like it bone straight because you can't do anything to it,
You
right?
want some textures left in the hair.
We can all see someone whose hair has been overly relaxed, and it's like, super extra strength relaxer left on for an hour, and it's just like, you can't do anything with
And
it,
after
right?
a while, what happened, the hair has its own life. And also, we're just talking about timing. A client could come in the hair and they want to change from natural to relaxer. When you first apply the relaxer, you're going to take a while to break down. So you will monitor it and watch it as it goes through the process.
Right, yeah, because I think, like for me, I have done a few relaxers.
Yeah.
Now, again, the hard thing for me was to know, like, when it was ready. Like, there's people say, oh, you have to, like, pull it and see how the
No,
elasticity.
you cannot pull the relaxer at the time because you're going to break the hair.
Yeah,
What you got to do, you go through with a comb, and when you first go in and you press, you see it's not straight. As you go back in the second time and you press, you see it's straight.
yeah. So once it stops to the bend stops, then you know. You said 10 minutes is...
10 minutes,
Yeah. Because you would rather it still be a little bit natural than be bone straight.
Bone straight, yes. Because if it's bone straight, as I said, the hair has no life and the hair is easier to break.
All right, so you're really getting down into the short hair now with that little... How big did you say that was?
3/10 of an inch.
3/10 of an
And
inch.
what I do as I go in, I use my comb for the lift of the scalp, go with my finger, clip it like a scissors. You need my fingers on the hair, I pull and I grab.
Yeah.
And my
Those
second-
fingers can take a lot of heat, guys. They must have just calluses on them, just natural. A lot of heat. And then that bends.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going in again.
So there's got to be like a rhythm here. I can
Yes,
see
it's a
you work
rhythm,
with
yeah.
a rhythm, the way you're moving, and getting that rhythm is super important. And again, a lot of working in kind of circles,
Yeah.
which is the way hair grows, so it makes a lot of sense. Now, if people are watching and they want to reach out and maybe find out about taking a class with you or visiting your salon, where can they find you?
You could go to Instagram. Our Instagram handle is B_hair.
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 Turn you around so we can see from the front. Come out this beautiful face. There we go. What do you guys have planned for the holidays? Is it a busy time for you in the salon,
It's
Brian?
always a busy time for.
Oh,
some
it's,
of the
yeah,
holidays.
people coming in every week.
Every week, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe during the holidays they come in twice a week?
Twice a week, all depends if they have a lot of functions to go to. Like a lot of people have office parties now, so
Yeah.
we see them a lot there.
Absolutely. And how about you? Any time off in the new year? Go back visit Antigua or?
No, there's going to be no time off for me right now.
Because you're opening a new salon?
I'm opening a new salon. I got to get it up and moving. It's a new location, so I have to get the clients in and up.
Awesome. Well, this just comes together beautifully here. So now, is this about kind of softening?
Let's do some finger play. What I usually do when I first start, I have a little spot right here, so I'm filling this spot so that you
Same
can see
thing.
in between now.
So this is where you started and you went in the 4 different directions and now you're kind of circling out from there. Our good friend Hannah Evans says, impressive skill, grateful for the texture education. Total masterpiece coming from Otis Humphreys. Yes, Dominic, that's true. That might be one of the only other times Dominic is pointing out that I cut Angelo Seminara's hair once. That was about a year ago on an HB Live. But that's probably the only other guy that I cut last year besides my one male client. I'm like Brian, I'd rather cut the ladies' hair. Style the ladies.
Well, so that's why we did have the shine right here and just press it in.
So a little bit of oil to work around the edges. And again, this works beautifully with the color, the way it kind of works in. So natural hair that's been relaxed, cut, colored, and it looks super healthy again. You can see there's no damage on the hair, even though it's been relaxed and colored. Beautiful, beautiful movement there.
She's ready.
Thank you so much. Let's bring back all our models. Let's see. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much to Brian, Jasmine, the whole team. You can stand up for us. Come on, Meg. Everybody come here. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. All this beautiful work. Thank you so much, Brian. Happy holidays, guys. It's been awesome spending time with you. Peace out, and we'll see you again real soon from HB Live.